Okay. Pierre.
Yeah, hello, y'all. So, looking forward to another conversation about country, and we are a little late to the show today because we had a meeting to be at. So we're here now. People hopefully will come and watch. But today I want to talk about why we speak and why it's important that we continue to speak and hopefully conscientize our people. It's often said that I say often that Joseph Boyka and the UP government is a con game. He's a con man. And today I wanted to start the conversation by defining what I mean by con. It's easy to just say a word and have people form their own definition. I am going to say what I mean when I say he's a con man, and I'm downing on it. That means I'm not just saying he's a con man. I believe it. I would say to his face and to anyone else. And then we'll talk about. I want to talk about how Dwalu was treated and how that could have been predicted by what a con man and con game is. So I want to read the definition I have here. Con man. First of all, the term con just means confident, right? So it's a man that has a confidence to persuade, right? But this persuasion is different. Okay, um, he uses that this persuasion to deceive others. First thing he does is he gain their trust, and then he exploits them for money, valuables, or personal benefit. So he gets your confidence. He speaks with confidence, so you believe him, right? He comes across a very
Honest,
very
knowledgeable.
yeah, someone that can be trusted, right? And then he take that trust. Once he gains the trust that person has, he uses it for personal gain to get money, to get influence, to get power, whatever personal thing he wants, he gets. Okay. Today I want to talk about. I want to show examples of how Joseph Boyka has always done that in his life. There is nothing about him. He comes across as this. They used to call him a statesman. That means someone who worked for the state, but in the interest of people with less power, in the interest of people who don't have voice or don't what statements do, right? They work for the state, but they help the little guys, and that's why they're lauded. That's why they're praised. That's why they're loved, right? Because they're literally playing that role of Jesus. They're playing that role of a hero. They're Superman. They're rescuing people who needs it. So he pretends, and for his life, he's been compensated handsomely by the government, especially now, for playing a role that he never really played. Okay, so I want us to talk about that today, about why I say this guy is. I want to go into the speeches he's made, even especially the last one talking about how we're going to spend $8.7 billion to empower women. What are you talking about? $8.7 billion in 5 years. Where's it? We don't even have eight. We never generate anywhere near a billion per year. $800,000. Even that's with $800 million coming from the diaspora. You don't have that in your budget. 90% of your current expenditures. Where is this money coming from to do this empowering? Okay, and you're speaking to people who doesn't do research or people who want to be lied to. Okay, and that's a con game. That's not okay. And you can't be shielded by your age. And the people who are around you cannot protect you from you lying to people. Because here's the thing, Yasendi. I don't think people understand why you and I are here so often and so religiously, even when there is only one person listening.
Yes.
We are we are educators.
Yes.
That means for a living, we dedicate our lives to impacting knowledge to children.
Yes.
This is like a this is like a here's the analogy I'll use. It's like a doctor who's concerned about the type of food and the health conditions where children live. Because he's a doctor, he's going to care about that. No matter where it is, he's going to say that's not
Yep.
good. And that's why we speak, people. I don't care about your damn politics. I care about people. I care about the standard of living our people are going through right now, how low it is. And guess what? The love these people have is the same love you have for your children. The same love you supposedly have for Joseph Boycott. His feelings is not any more important than anyone else's family's feelings. It's not. My father died in that country from something that could easily be been taken care of. Okay, he was an old man. I understand that, but the health sector under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and what they haven't done and what they pretended they have done is why he's not here. It's not just him. Women and children. Imagine when you're in an emergency, how vulnerable you are. But then knowing that the place you're going, you might not get help. You have to run to a clinic. You have to bring. These people's lives are no different than your life and your children's life and other people's children's life. It's like you think the people in government are more important. And that's an insult to our humanity. Those of us, people like us who have dedicated our lives to helping people. I'm not a politician. I'm forced to speak on politics. I'm a coach. That's all I want to do. I want to teach. And this is why we'll continue to speak. And you can't silence us. You can't threaten us. You can't come and say, oh, the reason you're insulting me is because you have a good upbringing. Well, how was your upbringing? What the upbringing that brought you up to be a con man?
To be a con man. Yeah.
Think about your upbringing. At least I'm speaking. I'm speaking to a vile person. I always will. That's like an intruder coming to my house to kill my family. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot you. That's not even up for discussion. You're gonna get shot. Period. It's happening. And you say, "Oh, that guy is the person who shot someone. He's a murderer." No, you brought this upon yourself. Okay, you're taking advantage of people. You're a con man. So that's not an insult. It's the point I was trying to make. That's a bigger point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying it just to throw out some like open ended. I'm not Prophet Key just cussing and no, I feel like this is a verbal protest to you. And people are too polite to this guy, too polite to a person who's not a good person. He's not a good human being. And I want to chronicle that today. Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Peter. So folks, we're going to start this conversation this way, okay? Most of you know, and this is an open secret, okay? From the onset, we knew that Peter I know, those of us who are in the back and in the front. In fact, the whole Liberian Republic knew. When the CCP were being funded, it was Bronski, it was Bwaka. Bwaka has said to me personally and my brother personally that when he lost the election in 2017, that he had worked for the government all his life. He was tired, and but he wants to leave Liberia in a better hand. And he thought Cummings would be the right person. Okay, I believe it was one of the reasons that Mr. Cummings agreed to hang out with them. And then, if you all remember 2018, 2019, none of them had the face. Even when Darius DeLong ran, who was the face of the opposition? It was Alexander Cummings. Europe could not even escort his own daughter for campaign. Okay, he couldn't, because he didn't have to face, number one, he had the war and economic crimes issue behind him. He had the looting of Maritime behind him, and all of those stories. And Bwaka, the 12 years that they were in there, Liberian people were saying they looted the nation, and he himself alluded to that. So let's play this. After we would have built the CPP, which we are, some of us told Mr. Cummings, these people are hyenas. Okay, they have no conscience. But he thought that is the makeup of Liberia. We all need to come together to fix the country together. That was his decision. And we, at some point, we gave in and we supported. Okay, but there were plenty. Just some of you have listened to Spoon, and the people are saying, oh, people sharing because they think he's trying to bring rift between CDC and ANC. CDC and ANC don't have anything right now to do. Okay, CDC is not in charge of the country. If those of you who are sitting on the sideline are talking about that, it is the responsibility of the UP-led government to prosecute them because they accuse them of everything else. The ANC is not in power. So now let's listen to Bwaka, and we'll come back and we'll talk about this. When Mr. Cummings went on Spoon, when they were talking about shutting people not paying their due to the CPP. And Mr. Cummings, we pay for it. We, the ANC people, pay for the crafting of the documentation. We pay for the convention. We paid, okay? We were collecting money to do that. When Mr. Cummings came on point, they asked him, Mr. Cummings said, only the people working for government in the country have money. Some of the people, he will not come out. He said, because he's a manager. He's a leader. It's like if you're on a team, you don't come out and say, you know what, my team is broke. I'm the only one paying for this. But everybody knew. The Mo Ali, the Joseph Boakai, all of them knew. Okay. Now let's confirm it. One thing we're going to talk about. Hey Miara, hey Rosa Peter, Rosa say hi. So we're going to play this video for you, and then I will play another video, and Peter and I will speak to that. Okay, why we think he's a comment. Listen up. Okay. Salinka said, I shall not be ashamed to cite a bad author if the line is good. This one, the line is good, so we're going to play it. Peter, let me play this really quickly, and then we can talk about it. Yes, here we go. Peter, talk
so
about
he was going to win this thing under a CPP umbrella, and it broke CPP apart. Seriously, I know, Tamba. If CPP were to go for convention, you remember when I'm talking about Cummings got audio money? Great, you remember? We were discussing. Benayo was afraid of Cummings. The United Party, Joseph Boakai, they were extremely afraid of Cummings. I'm serious. I know. This is not something, let me know. I understand. Cummings had the chance of winning CPP at the convention. Then what happened? Politicians came together and said, no, we gotta leave. We gotta leave. If we remain, Cummings will be the standard bearer for CPP. So we gotta leave. So the Mango, they sent the surrogate, they did everything. And we all were part of it. We did it, Mr. Cummings. We did. From start to finish, man, we strangulated Mr. Cummings. We had the bat on his neck, on his jugular vein, sucking the fresh blood from his heart to the brain, from the brain to the heart. And guess what happened? We dismantled Mr. Cummings and dismantled CPP. That's the only way Joseph Boakai could have won the election. That was the only way. We never had the money. Boakai never had the money. Look around you. Look at your community. Look at your brothers and sisters. Do you think CDC did it for you? No, they didn't. Do you think CDC fixed our country? No, they didn't. Do you think CDC was there for you? No. If this government continue on this current path, and this government, I mean the Joseph Boakai government, it means that they fail you. You will need a leader that will fight corruption. You will need a leader that will fight the drugs epidemic that is in the country. You will need a leader, not just people that are selling drugs and doing drugs in the neighborhood, but those that are importing drugs. Somebody that will go after them and jail them and confiscate their home and confiscate their businesses. You need a leader. You will need a leader. If a government official is caught in corruption and found guilty, they should take away the properties. You need a leader. You will need a leader that will be strong and stubborn to fight against international corruption. That's what we are talking about. You are not seeing the in George Manawia. You are not feeling the in Joseph Boakai. Everybody is about themselves and they're crying for themselves. Do you want your country to be better? What of Musa Benete? What of Alexander Cummings?
Okay, Peter. There we go.
Yeah, I don't even like hearing that guy's voice. No,
I don't. No, I don't. That's why I made a disclaimer. I said, per Salinka, okay? I will not be ashamed to quote a bad author if the line is right. This is from the horse's own mouth. I wanted them to hear, although that we always say cynical people don't care about that, but we will bring it home. No, I don't. So we are talking about calm person, okay? This is what they did. I mean, we knew that what they did, okay? And the Liberian people decided that where they wanted to go with. They also agree. And that's why they said they agree that this comment will. But Peter, let me play one more video so it can just confirm what you said. Okay, give me 1 second here. This is Mr. Bouakai right here. This is 2015 when he was in power. Right after the Ebola, when Mr. Cummings had carried millions of dollars worth of supply to Liberia to help the government. Okay, this is the right there. So Bouakai is here. I'm actually leading the delegate here.
Fall into place.
Yes.
Did I see you coming, sir? Oh. Hey, Alex, how are you? Friend and brother, for many, many years, schoolmate. And when we embarked on this project, I talked to Alex, and I fall into place.
Okay. Yeah,
Did
we
I
go.
see
Yeah.
you come?
Now come in, Peter. That's where I wanted to bring to bear.
Yeah, I'm gonna start where I left off. I don't like hearing that guy's voice. I think that I'm a man. Again, these people have not been around men. That's the problem, because I think what happens is Liberians and the type of men, to me, I'm embarrassed by that as a Liberian man. You just said, yeah, I dirtied this person. We dragged him by the collar. Who?
Yep.
So you just say, I destroy another man.
A
right?
man. Yep.
You can't destroy me. Because again, it's not about me. Here's what I'm saying.
Peter. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm saying. When you brag about that, that tells me you have some levity about it. You think it's not a big deal. That you didn't destroy nobody. You destroy the country. You destroy the lives of those babies, those women who are going to hospitals with no medication and dying in pain. You destroy my father. It is beyond personal. Since you think you're such a big shot because you're on the airways, you stole some money so you can buy airtime in Liberia because your proximity to our people. So you're another con man. You just admitted to being a con man, and I'm supposed to applaud you for saying, not just being a con man who destroyed the hopes and dreams of millions of people.
Millions, your nation.
Based on your lies and your manipulation because you're a criminal. When I say a criminal, that means that in a ruse, you can't win. You have to manipulate and you have to con people. That's what I'm talking about, Stanton. You're disgusting. You're gross. When you sit in a room with a bunch of intellectuals, you have a person like Stanton making political decisions in the country, coming back. Same thing with Costa, bragging about it. Tell me, I dare Stanton to tell me what nations he has studied in the nation's development. And let's go into some historical details about why he think or thought certain people should lead our country. So what you did was you destroyed the hopes and dreams of many people, right? And you brag about it, and now you want to get credit for saying I was wrong. Listen to what you're saying. It's like you go in the street and there's this guy with the 3-car mountain, right? He's doing the thing. Pick one here, pick one here, pick one here. Lucky ticket, pick one here. And then you get conned 3 different times. And then you go home crying and say, the con man took my children school fees and the money I was going to feed them with. What man will respect you when you say that? What woman will respect you when you say that? As a man that got conned out of your taking care of your family. That's what you did. You got conned by a low-level clown like Joseph Boycott. Joseph Boycott is the same. You play that thing right now. Friend and brother for many years. He's a con man. That's what con men do. He says it so fluently, so easily. That's an indictment on the man's character. Let's go back and look at his accomplishments in government since the 1970s. What has he done? Tell me the philanthropic things he's done. Tell me the sacrifices he's made for that country. What is his legacy? What can you point to? Okay, and we keep elevating these people like Stanton, and when they say good things, we put him up. I'm not putting him up. I want you to sit in our circles and circle of people that I sit with, the real educated people, The ones who actually study what we're talking about. We went to rare universities. And we dedicate our time and we sacrifice time and we study and we know what we're talking about. The reason we think certain persons should lead our country is because we know of the pedigree. We know that it's going to work. We know the formula. And we know what's not going to work. We predicted what's happening. We need to generate money. We need someone with a certain level of intelligence and working knowledge. And these people you're putting forth, even though they're popular in the country, are not best for our country. And you're speaking as if you get to make that decision. And you did, because you had proximity. You're on the radio. You paid for that with stolen money. We could have all sold drugs. We could have all done something criminal. We could have ran credit card scams and make millions. Some of us didn't do that. We went to universities and say, you know what? We're going to empower society. We're going to help children. We're going to educate the next generation of people. That's what we're going to do. That's what we dedicate ourselves to be. There are many of us also who went into crime. I think I'm an intelligent person. I think I would have made a lot of money doing criminal stuff. I know people who did. I think I could have and gotten out of it. Or I could have got caught. That was not in me because I was raised differently. I wasn't raised to be a criminal. I wasn't raised to if I have a problem with you, I was raised to say to your face. Say to your face, and the people I grew up with, the people I hung with, they're the same, cut from the same cloth. Our integrity matter more than money. That's why we can still speak like this with confidence. So going back to Dwalu, going back to Stanton, I don't feel sorry that you got played by a con man. I don't. As a matter of fact, I blame you for doing that, and I'm angry at you for allowing that to happen to millions of other people's family right now. Our country looks like a slave village, or slave quarters, and we are very prideful people. And you guys did that. You said this man had experience that you couldn't explain. And you dismiss people who says he doesn't have the experience. You called us angry. Yes, I'm angry. I'm angry at anyone who is taking advantage of vulnerable people. It doesn't have to be just in Liberia or it has to do with government. As a matter of fact, most of the time, the things I'm unhappy about has nothing to do with government. I don't like people taking advantage of people. I don't like bullies. You're a con man. Okay? Joseph Boycott literally went on international newscast and they're asking about what are you going to do differently in Liberia, and this man rattled off all the problems just like Stanton did. Anyone can point out the problems in the country. Who can't? It's right there. It takes no talent. We got no food. We got no schools. We got no hospitals. Our kids are market women. All the lines what to say. You lied on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and you say you had all these great ideas and she sidelined you. And people believed you. They said maybe he does have something. He is old. He has been in government for a long time. Ellen did suck. She was a murderess. So maybe he is. And Joseph and George Weah didn't bring any money in. We're struggling. Maybe he does know something. No, he's a con man. He's vile. He's vile. He's no different than the grandpa who would touch his grandkids. He's no different. He's heartless. Listen to his speech at the UN talking about what he would do for women. And everybody in Liberia sit there and their mouths are gasped, open. What is he saying? We know the conditions in our country. What's this billions coming from you're talking about? And you're comfortable lying. And there are people supporting you in your lies. And that's not okay because there are real life people hurting. There are humans with a brain and feeling and a central nervous system just like you are. And they're hurting because of the choices you're making, what you're supporting. I'm not okay with that. And there's got to be something wrong with you to be okay with that. And just go to sleep at night and say, I supported this, and there are people hurting. Today, Yasendi, I think I you. Outside the fact that came in and didn't have any way to generate money, so they started saying, "Oh, you gotta get helmets," because one of the people had some marketing in China that could get home and make people buy helmets. Oh, you gotta get insurance. You gotta get your car registered. Even though he created no jobs, brought no extra money in the country, people who are already struggling. Now they're chasing people selling their marketing in wheelbarrows. They're chasing them. They're dumping their stuff out. How cruel is that? That's the country we're in. That's the country you say you're a citizen of. You're part of. They're burning down houses of people who are suspected. I'm saying suspected. Even if there was drugs found in the house, they still have to go through the process. You're burning down their homes. Is that an intelligent government? We literally have people sleeping in cemeteries.
Nope.
In their homes. Say you say, we're going to repossess the home and we're going to fix it up and put people who need homes in it. Your best idea is to burn down the home, and you tape it and you put it on social media, and you want someone to say you're not a complete and utter idiot. You have a monkey's brain. That's the best use of that house you could come up with. Besides the fact that people haven't gone through due process, or is there no rules now? If there are no rules, then we live in a state of nature, so anything goes. That means you could kill Joseph Boyka and get away with it if you can, or kill anybody. Do we have rules or we don't? And if we have rules, why can't we say we have to follow them? We didn't like a smart person. We like this someone with no empathy for others. I don't like hearing the name Mo Ali. I don't like these people add zero value to the country. Here's what I'm saying. And it's not about those people personally. It's about their character and what they represent. If you remove Joseph Boyka from Liberia, what did Liberia just lose?
Nothing.
What was added to our country?
Nothing.
That's a conversation that needs to be had.
That's somebody to suck the country dry.
Yeah, he's a leech. He's been a leech forever. He's a burden. Okay, and no one wants to say it. So to comment on the video, okay, on the first video, Stanton, no one gives a damn what you said. You hurt people's lives. You hurt other people's family. Your family is no better than other people's family. Call me whatever names you want. But one thing you cannot say for me is I don't take from vulnerable people. I don't put them in a precarious position where they are in desperation, when they can't take care of themselves in case of emergencies. I didn't do that. I would never do that. And the people around me knows my integrity matters. They're not going to haul me off to jail. I didn't have to go say, yeah, I ran a con game so I can get money. I didn't have to get money. I have a good life. I didn't have to become a millionaire by stealing from other people. And I don't even know if you still are, because you have to pay back reparation for what you did. Okay, you're pointing out the wrongs that happened in the country. You supported the wrongs, knowing that because it was a game for you. The lives of other people, the detriment of their lives is not a game for some of us. People like us, have dedicated our lives to helping people, especially children. There are children suffering right now. Everything you just mentioned, we already knew. You played a game for people's lives and you lost.
Yeah,
and you did that on purpose. So no, I don't care about that. And Joseph Boyka, yes, another example how you're a con man. You said this before the trial Cummings, and then during the trial you say you don't know Mr. Cummings.
Yep.
And people still respect you because those people want to be lied to. I don't respect those people. I respect them even less than I respect you, and I have zero respect for a person like you.
Yep. So that was Peter. Okay, we're talking about confidence that is over, but it's not for the best reason, but it's destructive, that manipulates, okay, that terrorizes a nation per se. And you know, I saw people saying this is that. I need people to understand. For me, I posted to say we told you so. And let's just say this man and this man grew up together. This man and this man went to school together. When this man ascended to the presidency during a very tumultuous time, we were coming from out of the war, a lot of nations were not paying attention. The character that was supposed to be on board needed to be important or connected somehow for them to tap into resources. Okay. They were friend and brother. He reached out to this guy, Alexander Cummings, brought him his connection. Okay. Turn a training base that would be BWI into a trade school. Electrify the place. Okay. Electrify the place. So the children can have place to go to learn. All right. That was his friend. When he came to Georgia and decided, okay, I'm going to open a small little museum, and Cummings said, okay, we're going to help you. He gave $10,000 to upkeep. He said, we're going to give money. He never did. For the 3+ years that the place was open, in his name, in his honor, Mr. Cummings paid for it. I was the vice president when it was acquired. I was the president when they keep. I still got, I hear people talk about Steve Koya. Steve Koya have been with Bwaka for the longest. In fact, Steve Koya was one of those people who, under his wing, okay, $5 million got based from the group of 77 with Kotuma Bwaka. Okay. And when Peter said they're calm people, they are, including the Oma. All right. For instance, when she went to the Puebla Hospital that had been supported by the nurses from Texas for the last 6-7 years, they renovated the place. The waiting area, they fixed it. They supply the place with medication. They go there 3 times a year and train the nurses and young nurses that are coming, nurses assistant. She showed up with a blanket with her picture on it and said she cutting curtain. She the one opening the place. Okay, that's it's not just indecency, but it is roguish. It is immoral. It is unethical. Those kind of behavior. When people ask and say Liberians are dishonest, Confucius says, and Confucius will be Peter's guy, because Confucius does not believe in God. He believes in Shintoism. Okay. He believes in treating people right, playing your role. He believes in being distant. He believes in their life in everything. We should teach, we should and what do you call it? Interact with people with respect and kindness, because that's what we anticipate. Okay, that the way you give out to the earth, it will give out to you. That's what he says. So there's a relationship that you want to be a king, you should be able to take care of the people. You want to be a president, you have to rule by example. Okay, you got to set the tune, because you become the role model. You become the father per se, right, Peter? So if you are the father, okay, you cannot be a good father when your children have no food to eat. You cannot be a good father when your children are homeless. How do you break down where you say the children who hooked on drugs, who got a problem, because that's a mental health problem? You break down the place and say you're trying to arrest them, but you're not arresting the people who are importing the drugs. Okay, your son friend bring in a truckload of drugs, he gets arrested, he disappears from jail. Your nephew, okay, as a 14-year-old child, okay, you don't say anything. Your other nephew or your friend, as another 14-year-old child, they go through the same process that the everyday Liberians have gone through. Now you're asking for DNA when you don't have DNA in Liberia. Only the U.S. MSA or other MSA that are trying to do DNA when people are applying for their children or their family have those amenities, okay, just to delay. So nothing anybody is telling us was like when Papa Bwaka took the stand and put his hand in the air and said he didn't know Mr. Cummings. That for me, with everything else that have been done, was the turning point for me, Peter. It was the turning point for me, because I know he didn't have a lot of stuff, but those of us who survived the war, Peter, when you see your neighbor and you got excited, your neighbor has a gun on him. Your neighbor knows somebody. Also, you know somebody, you will be safe. They will let you go through the checkpoint. But that neighbor is the one who telling you, the friend, take them behind the horse, let them go pee-pee. Okay? That neighbor is telling, the moment they say go pee-pee, is telling them to go kill you. This is exactly what Bouaka did to Alexander Cummings. Me being in their company, me knowing both of them, me dealing with them, me being present, me being a part. What Bouaka has said to me, this is his brother. They went to school together. In fact, they have slept in each other's homes together. That Mr. Cummings has supported him during the whole process of his sentencing to the government, even before, okay, when he was in a position, connected him, brought in investor. When the Liberian people had 2006, 2007, the investor forum in Liberia, okay, where Ellen brought in her grandchild who was just going to college to be one of the speakers, okay. Alexander Cummings facilitated that, brought in corporate executives to come and be a part, to invest in Liberia because of their connection. But you stood today and say you didn't know him. For me, during the campaign, most of them call me. UP people were calling me. People were calling me and say, oh, you know, you and the paper close, you and the paper will do this. You're educated, like one woman, you're vocal. You know, you can get anything you want, just support. Then they got to a point and say, you don't have to say anything. That's where people come. For me, it's not about the job. That Peter said, we're professional people. Our life, we have dedicated our life to empowerment, changing the world one child at a time. From every background, every creed, every culture, we live and work in a diverse area. Okay? Orienters, Indians, I'm talking about American Indians, Black people, Caucasian, from different segments of the place. When they enter our school, they become our duty. They become our children. They become our protection, because it is our duty. Their future have crossed with our past and our present. It becomes our sole duty to make sure that we make sure that they succeed. If they're walking not too confident, it is our job to empower them to see their own worth and see possibilities. So we don't do this because it's because of jobs. We do this because it's a duty call. It's a love of mankind. How we change the word, Peter?
Yeah, so I'll start there. What jobs? Like, what you gonna pay me to? I'm saying if you're just doing it for money, that's not how you make money then, because you have no conscience. I mean, make pretty good money here, and I can pick up the phone, call 911 when I'm in crisis.
I like that.
I can't do that in Liberia. Like, what are you talking about? It's not. So what money, like, do they want? I want to go back to the lies that this man told with a straight face is con man. He talked about children selling in the streets and children going to school. Tell me one policy speech that he's given. Tell me one thing he's done that is working towards that goal. One. Tell me, look at the budget and tell me what he said about making sure that you stopping this generation from selling in the street as kids and making sure preventing the next generation from doing the same. How?
Peter, hold on, let me just interject. Did you know that his wife is the third highest receiver of SDA when they travel? His wife. Remember how the people went off on George Weah's wife? Okay. She gets, I think, the second or the third most high money when they travel. Both of them sleep in the same room. Both of them traveling together, the husband and wife. She get daily assisting or daily subsidy for living. SDA is the third or the second highest to the president.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised at anything. This is a money grab, and you can't question them. They're kings and queens with no value, right? They're literally kings. He thinks he can run a country by edicts. I say so, you are fired. That's not how you run a country. He has no policy prescription to fix any of our problems. Zero. Everything you do is waste of money. Someone said how they literally just got Liberia to pay for their campaign, the political party campaign in DC. That's what that is, that diaspora stuff. I'm saying even Dwa Lu, who supported this guy, They won't even let him speak. So there's no divergent voices. There is no dissent. There's no dissent in that crowd if they talk about a community meeting or whatever that is they're having. Everything is a con game. They want to make noise so you change the subject. They want to use ad hominems. They want to personally attack you so you start going back and forth with the personal attacks instead of talking about the fact that you have no policy prescription. You don't have the information in your head to run a country. You don't know enough. Okay? You don't know enough. You can't debate nation building because you haven't studied it, because it requires effort and a lot of years of expertise. It just does. And you don't have it. So as soon as someone starts to say something that you don't have it, you say, oh, it's because you're angry, you got 1%. Oh,
Yeah,
because
you got
you're
1%.
gay. It's because you're gay, because your guy didn't win, because you just a bad person and you wasn't raised right. No. You don't get to say that. I will attack you on that personally, and then we'll come back to the subject, the fact that you know nothing. What's this man's expertise? Agriculture. Tell me the last thing he said about agriculture is groundbreaking. That would help Liberia bring $1 in. Tell me. Play that. Show me where to go to read that statement on agriculture. And let's question him. That's something you can go copy from the internet. Let him sit down and take questions that talk about agriculture and best practices about agriculture. This man doesn't have no education. We know that. Okay? Let's talk about private jets. He's a con man. You talk with George Weah, you say you're going to ride you say you're going to ride in a wheelbarrow if you have to. So you fake humility.
Yep.
You
Yes.
faked humility because
He
you know
does.
the people needed, because you know the people needed to hear that. You say you ride in a wheelbarrow. And then you went and bought $1,200,000 2 cars so you can sit in them because
Yep.
it makes you feel good about yourself because you're empty inside.
Yep.
You are a con man. You are a con man. You now ride around in the private jets and you have your little stooges around you justifying why you need to get to meetings quickly. Name one country in the world that was built because the president was going around begging for money. Name one.
None.
You guys know nothing, and you will
None.
not take a real debate. You won't.
None.
You talk nonsense, complete nonsense. We don't need him riding around in private jets. It's a waste of money. Just like going to Japan where a convoy of people was a waste of money.
The same thing here. Over 80% of the people that could get visa, in fact, over 80% of the people came. The only people that stayed are people that could not get visa.
You're wasting money, and it's not your money. This is for our children and our old people in our country. You're wasting it because you can. Because you can now. But in the meantime, we will expose you for who you are. You're a con man. All you know how to do is mimic. That's your expertise. I've seen children do that. I've seen a 3-year-old pastor, and he sounds just like a regular pastor because he's good at mimicry. He just is. Okay? That's what you're doing. You always want to sound like the educator, so you learn how to read. You spend a lot of time. You spend the last 83 years getting prepared for that. But you have no substance outside of that. You're a one-trick pony. You pretend to be something you're not. Return to private jet. Why do you need 2 bulletproof cars, luxury cars? You could have used the one Josh Weah had. You talk about kids sleeping on the streets. When are you going to stop? When are you going to do something? Tell us what you're doing to create money.
Right. And he's building what? A $10 million presidential palace in Lofa County, another in Brewerville. This is a dude that have to beg to go to the hospital. Not just hospital, right there, LY.
But it was even worse. This is part of the reason he had to fall out with George Weah, because George Weah had to pay a hospital bill for him. He said, I'll return your money. Now you're building millions of dollars in property. And I saw something, I think it was the Argentina's agriculture minister who got sentenced to death for I don't know how many millions. It wasn't that much money.
Right.
This is what needs to happen. And whoever takes, becomes president next, the drum beats need to happen. We need to hold people accountable. That old man needs to go to jail. He needs to lose all his property. Not just him, the people before him too. Because if you don't do that, that means you're saying that lives of people don't matter. And if the lives of people don't matter, that means your life don't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? This man lies about everything, Yasendi. Let me put this before I give it back to you. Liberia is ranked 177th in the world for HDI, Human Development Index.
Yeah.
Right? That is what's the probability of someone living a middle-class life within your country? Within. Now, mind you how low the standard of living is in Liberia, right? The prosperity probability. In Africa, we're ranked 44th. So Africa is known as a place that don't give their people a chance. That's what people get on rafts trying to get to Europe, and these Europeans shooting at us, killing us, don't want them in their country, like we're some invading bad species of wild animals, right? People are leaving Africa, the poorest of the poor country. Liberia is in the bottom of the poor countries, 44th. Right, so it's as if we're all Zogos living in a cemetery, and at least somebody got a cartoon to cover their head, and you don't. That's how poor. So we're all poor, right? We're all extremely poor. Liberia is part of the poorest of the poor, and we have so much pride, and there'll be nothing wrong with that if we were trying. If we're not paying young Bleak Congolarians almost $700,000 a year, and Joseph Boyka almost $6 million a year, and giving money to his wife that adds zero value to the country. We're wasting the money that don't belong to them only because they're in position of authority. That's a sin. That's not okay. And then people say, "Why are you angry?" Why do you watch that and you're okay with it? What type of person is okay with that? 177th in the world. Okay. And you're burning down homes. Like, instead of saying we're going to clean this up and put people in it. No policy prescriptions. Okay. Nope. We have a bad, we're in a bad place. And Liberians need to understand that. And we're so blind to the reality of the world. Like, we should all be ashamed for anyone to come to our country because of the type of leadership that we've had and what our country actually looks like. Okay, you protest. Well, I would say that I'm going to save this for the next.
Thank you, Peter. Those of you who are here, I see, thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, I see Sis Miata, I see Brother Tony Johnson, I see Fester all the way out of Liberia. I see Sis Dorothy Service still around here, Riverside Pro, my brother Emmanuel Johnson, Rosa Park, Tony Wilson, welcome Sis Miata Dakina, a strong woman who don't throw in the towel easily. Thank you so much for tuning in, all of you who have tuned in. Please share the video again, and please follow this page and like the page. We're building it. We're consistent. We're going to continue to build it until we get all our people back. We are on this journey with you to change Liberia for all of us, to change Liberia. Today, I was laying down, I was thinking, Peter, I had a line of kids who parents have inboxed me to help the children to go to school. Some of these kids are honor roll kids and getting really frustrated because parents don't have jobs, can't afford to send them to school. And I'm looking at me, a girl from the village, who all I have to do is find clean clothes and put on my kids. School were available, teachers were available. If they struggle, there would be tutor for them free. If they left the home in the morning, if there was no food, there would be breakfast, there would be lunch for them before they came back home. So I'm listening to this with this, okay? And I listened to what this man has said. If you look at our children, they're struggling. This was Bwaka before the election, and I'll play that later. All right. This is the man who said he understood our plight. This is the man who said that he knew what Liberia needed, that he understood. Because when he said, do you understand what they're speaking? Do you understand this? He was speaking to understanding the language of the land, not just the word, but what was happening. At least we were told what was happening. Okay, that's as the Liberian people, I would think, understood it. This was him. Now that he has the opportunity to lead, okay, and with all of this experience, was that a true statement, or was it still a con game? So that's what we need to know. Peter, I'm going to play this again. All right. Here it is.
We're talking about someone with an experience.
It's very low, so I pick you.
We're not talking about bringing a surprise package to Liberia. Somebody tested, somebody who is known. And why should we sit down and allow our country to just go into the hands of the wrong people? Simply because you come to Monrovia and people see you, do you know the people of country, what they think? Do you know what they need? Can you speak to them? We can sit here and let our country go down.
Okay, Peter, this is Waka. This is 2021 May. I just love technology. And you can't say he didn't say this is from the horse's own mouth. So was it all a con game, Peter? Was it what all this is about?
Well, everyone listening, everyone in the country would.
We can't hear you, Peter.
Can you hear me now? I think it's from your end.
We still can't hear you.
I think it's from your end. I'm on mute.
You gotta go and come back in. We can't hear you, Peter. Oh, it may not be you, Peter. That's not you, Peter. This means sorry. Oh man, sorry. Oh my God, sorry, Peter. Okay, that was not Peter. That was me. I turned down the volume very low. Peter, I apologize. It was not you. My apologies, oh man. My apologies. Hey, Eric, how are you? Hey, Eric, how are you? Peter, it was not you at all. It was the conductor. Peter, it was not you. It was me. The volume was down. But go ahead. Talk to us.
Yeah, so anyone with a brain knows that it was a con game. It's not even I'm hoping that was a rhetorical question because everyone knows he's a con game. Yeah, he was saying that he understands Liberia. You know what else? Who else understands what? Drug addict understand addiction. They don't quite understand how to get off of being addicted, but they understand addiction because they're addicted. He understands poverty because he's poor. He doesn't understand how you leave poverty, you escape poverty for himself because he never did until we elected him. So as part of the con game, what this man was really saying was when he called strange package, he's calling Cummings a strange package. Mm-hmm. Speaking of strange, look at that man. He looks like something strange. Everything about him is strange. To modernity, to the modern world, he's strange. Everything is around the whole world to this man is strange. He doesn't understand how the world works. So he's calling someone a strange package because he knows the political language to sway people to support him. That's what he was doing. He's saying, don't pick someone who is more competent than me. I know how to do it because I've been poor. But you haven't shown how you escape poverty. You still say you're living on loans. And the problem I have is a lot of people were too polite. Yeah, Sandy, this is part of the reason why I'm so animated when I talk about this. There are people are so polite in challenging this man and people like him because they're afraid of the confrontation. Oh, you're rude to the old man. The old man is a vile con man. That's what it is. Stop pretending like it's nothing other than that. He literally, him standing with Witherspoon, a person like Henry Costa, destroy a competent person because he would have stopped them from stealing, from taking advantage of vulnerable people. They would have had to do jobs and earn based on their merit. He would have brought meritocracy. You earn what you're based on your value. This old con man would let them get away with stuff. They recognize he's a con man. He was going to play the game with them. That's why a lot of people told companies, we knew for a fact that you will stop corruption for real and it will affect us. So we can't do that. Yes, what's so bad about the corruption we're talking about? Liberia has literally been exploited as we speak by foreigners. Those foreigners pay our people in a position of power to look the other way. They know a certain type of people with certain type of integrity. Nobody in my circle will ever say, I will pay this man to say something or do something. If they spend one day with me, they'll realize that if I even do that, it would be bad for me, right? They felt that about Mr. Cummings. They knew that, we can't pay this one off.
Yeah.
And those people need to continue to exploit our country. They need that. But they can offer $10 million to Joseph Boyka so he can keep our people at bay. Our people, and he's okay. They knew he would be okay with our people still suffering. And they knew he knew the political jargons and languages and the procedures words to use so that people can support him. They know those words because they live with our people. Just like we know the word of modernity, we know the word of the world. We can sit in boardrooms and actually articulate ourselves and be well respected for our knowledge. Not people being surprised that we can speak like a human being, a language, like there was with Joseph Boyka. Okay, they know that his interaction with the outside world benefits them, not Liberia. So he sits at the table as the chief negotiator and the final arbiter of what's going to happen in our country, and he doesn't have it, and it's happening to our children, not his children, and our people. And they're exploiting our country, and they're supporting the exploiters. That's the issue. Go ahead, yeah.
Thank you, Peter. I was talking to somebody who went to the whatever they did in Washington, and they had a breakout session, and the person understand business process. And somebody actually worked on Wall Street and said, he asked them, you're coming here asking what to give your money, asking Black Americans to give your money, and they say the African Americans were really rough on them, and asked them what you can do immediately to generate more funds is revisit the construction contracts that you have. You know what they told the person? They said they can't, because majority of the contract in the country, okay, the former leaders and those in charge have stocks in there or got cut in there, so they're not going to do that. But then, and the person said, but then you guys are not ready. All right. If you look around you, John Mahama just did that in Ghana. Ghana inflation came from 23%. Right now they are 11%. And people are investing in them because they know they're serious about business. When John Mahama went to Japan, he chronicled what he's done. He had not been, he got elected way after Bwaka. Okay. I think he got elected this year. Okay. What he's done in a little short time to create belief at minimum, okay, for people to do business with him. He brought in knowledgeable people who have studied other people's economy and history, how they're able to change their nation, okay? At the United Nations, he started that too. He told them, this is what we've done, this is what we have done, this is what we're looking to do. He also acknowledged, since he left power 6 years or about 12 years ago, how much things has changed. He acknowledged that the United Nations was funded before even his nation became independence. You and I had this conversation earlier, Peter. We say majority of the African nations that are up today, most of them got an independence after the independence movement, the Pan-African movement in the 60s. Okay, just around, and that would be the 60, the 50. But that was after World War II. Liberia was there, Ethiopia was there. Okay, so you come to us and say you're going to do this. You didn't ask us what the mindset. Okay, do you have you know, when people say, oh, the people come from diaspora, we take a job and they don't do well. Majority of what you get from the diaspora are the worst among us. Are those who cannot compete. I don't care what degree they have. Most of them have never worked their field. Most of them have nothing to protect. They have nothing to lose. Okay. And they come to Liberia. So I gave them the example. When Dr. Gompu came to Liberia to work with Ellen, to set up the tune for the international community to forgive our $4 billion that we used for 140 some more years. Guess what? When he found out the direction for which the government was going, that's not what he signed up for as a professional person. He said, thank you for the opportunity. I'm not putting my name on the line. I will see you later. I'm leaving the government. My brother, Dr. Dolo, did that too. He said, listen, I'm going to go back into the private sector because I don't think this is where I belong. That's not where I have built myself up. I have built my life up. I can do grants. I can go. I've been the first Black, not just Black, but an African in the Eastern District of Minnesota to ascend to be a director for the school system. I'm not going to put my name on the line. I'm not going to put my career on the line. I'm not going to put my character on the line to compromise it for a few persons. He left. Okay. The former minister who set the tune and built the platform for the financial team in Liberia after the war, Akensaya, is that her name, that worked for World Bank? She left. She said, I can't do this. I work hard for my name. This woman is more educated than Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and all of them put together and has proven worth. She was not going to do that. So you don't get the best of us. Like, for instance, the young man, Dr. Monet Siaple, who were at the central bank when that man stole, when the money was printed, when they all of them were in it together. The Ellen children and all of that, right? And Dr. Siaple said Dr. Siaple is a renowned scholar, okay, and an economist. All right, they were going to pay him off if he took a fall. He said, no, I work hard to get there. How are you going to get a young man to a retired man to take a fall for? So they left. So you don't get the best among us. And you can tell that Alexander Cummings was the best among us, okay? But you're afraid of him. Tell me you're not ready for change. All right. So, Peter, I wanted for y'all to listen. What Peter brought this topic out, and we need to explore it. Frank Davis, thank you so much for being on. Okay, you come and folks, let me tell you that Peter will tell you, and I'll make the post later. 2019, we came to get on this podcast. Peter, all of us were here. We have been on this since forever, before Facebook when scatter in Liberia. Peter were here. We used to pay people to take computer and speaker from community to community so we can talk to people. Peter, is that not what we did here? With Emmanuel Macedo, myself, you, Emery, the Duke, the Visitor Monk, Dr. Richardson, Howard Mensah, you name them, George Lobo, George Wallace, all of these people were on this platform. That's what we tell you. We are consistent because popularity is a disperishable goods, okay? Especially when it comes to Liberia. If I sing a song that you like, that benefits you, plenty of them will come. If I sing a song that you don't like because it brings you out, you will move. But we are consistent because we, as adult and as educator, we are trusted adults. And as trusted adults, we must stay on the lane of truth. Right, Peter? That's what we are. But let's play this with Ras Africa. Let's listen to Bwaka if his experience is experiencing, okay? You don't want to hear it, but Peter, let the people hear, because that's what we are here to do, to help the people to hear what is going on. Here is this man, just before.
Our country had not seen the kind of leadership that is needed to transform that country. And Mr. Weah is not a person to do it. We knew it, but we gave them the chance to take him. And now we know very well that it's not a test. We know for sure that Weah was not cut up for that. And so we cannot allow our country to degenerate further.
Peter, is he cut up for this?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, he thinks he's able to say that about we are, and no one should say that about him.
Yeah.
Show me how you're cut out, how you're better than we are. Tell me
Yes.
what way, in shape, or form, one example how you're better. And he said a bunch of other nonsense that day. And they asked him questions he couldn't even read the answer. He just sat there and regurgitated some acronym. But he's no different than we are. He knows it. He's a con man. He's a professional, seasoned con man. Okay. When you talk about, I think her name is Tony Sayah. I forgot her name, but I know she worked with the World Bank. Yes, that person stepping away from the government. Here's the point I'm making. Anyone who's a professional knows you're not going to take educators from America and take them to Liberia and pay them, and the kid comes and say, "We'll give you money to pass me." It makes us like, what? What you just say is just not what you do, right? It doesn't. A profession don't do it, right? Just like a teacher, no matter how beautiful a little girl is or a little boy is, a real teacher would never look at them in that like, oh, she's sexy. They don't, right? A cop who's a real police officer who's a professional doesn't.
Yes.
If you offer
Indeed.
money to them, they will look at you like, what? These people are not the best of us because they were never real professionals here.
Nope.
And the people who don't understand that just don't understand it. And there's no way
Nope.
to explain to them the difference because they just see degrees, they see paper, right? Professionals don't do that. They respect their art. They don't disrespect their art, right? Professional person need a different mindset. You talk about how Muhammad from Ghana and the accomplishments already. What was his real objective? Joseph Boyka's objective was to come to Liberia and take care of him and the people who supported him and his family and make money. And he knew that he could get away with it. If you look at Paul Kagame of Rwanda, what did they do? Because they wanted foreign investments, knowing that you need to infuse foreign capital in the country. They created a business court that would process business and anything that has to do with business dispute quickly, rapidly.
And you can also register business in 6 hours in Rwanda.
Yes, but they did that. They wanted that process to be very efficient because they realized that this is what's going to be needed to bring money into the country. Tell me the policies that this man has made to make it easier to bring money to Liberia by Liberians. They monopolize everything. They allow the Lebanese and the Chinese and the Indians to run our ports. They put all this red tape up. So if you're a Liberian, it's going to cost you so much money to try to do anything, any business-wise, bring anything to the country to help the people because they want us dependent on those foreigners. This man's objective is not to make lives of Liberians better. His objective is not to elevate the standard of living in Liberia. It's easy to do. You can easily, by one of your declaration, just make the free port free again. But that's the only source of income for so many of them, right? So his objective is not about the people. It's about himself. And it's to pretend like he's doing things he's not doing. He's a pretentious old con man. And he has a team of oligarchs around him who will protect him in doing so. And they will silence anyone. This is like being run like a mob, like a criminal enterprise. They're going around the country and the world and pretending to everyone. Listen to this man talk about gender roles and how he's going to invest $8 billion. When did you hear him talk about gender equality in Liberia? When? How?
But Peter, before you even talk about gender equality, first you got to protect the children, right? Your government officials are cut in violating the kids. You spoke nothing. When there's a lot of outrage, you come in and say you're suspended. And that's supposed to close the case. And then I hear people say, I hope the parents do not compromise the kids. It is not within the hands of the parents to compromise. It is the duty. It is the duty of the state. That is a crime against humanity. It's a crime against an underage child. Okay, the parents should not have to go look for a lawyer. The parents should not have to go calling advocates to speak on their behalf. The parents should not. Okay, we have where kids have been taken to the hospital and the parents have to call us to pay because the doctor will not see them because they needed $20 to run a rape case test on them. Okay, so it becomes the state voice of whoever. At this point, it is the state that should be representing, defending the child in the interest of the child. So it is not within the jurisdiction or the confines of the parents to compromise. It is the government who is trying to compromise because the government have failed to protect the children. That's what it is. You can't tell me you're going to support women, okay? But your nephew, Francis Numale, violated a girl and it's on video. Who you are assigned, who is the what do you call it? The Minister Proper for Interior Affairs. Okay, will be the governor of the country. All right. And you said nothing to it. And you show up in Washington and people are going hoo-ha. All right. And they're already telling us that everybody here is in the cookie jar, so they cannot visit it. They cannot visit it. And Peter, I don't feel bad for Dwalu. Dwalu was one of those young people that I really used to admire. And I'm really, I have the conversation back and forth. He's one of my little brothers. And we had this conversation about Dwalu. How can somebody who sounds so intelligent, how can you not see that? This is what happens when we see, when we make decisions based on just us and ourselves. Okay, that's what it is. When we make those decisions that we see it is. So how then Bwaka come to America and tells me that Liberians should bring, if they bring a factory equipment, they're going to be duty free. Okay, if they bring road construction equipment, they're going to be. That is a lie. We done that before. They said that before. We were the first. My husband and the whole team. There were about 5 all Liberian engineers, structure, electrical, this and that. 2006, 2007, 2008. We registered the first all Liberian. Class A, because the classification was A through, how you call it, all right? Those people gave us the run for our money. We spend money. Everybody wanted a cut in it. All of the lawmakers wanted a cut in it while they were still taking our money. I remember we met Pape Bwaka, Christopher Nepe was there, okay? A lot, Imaya yet don't know about this. These people were talking about they wanted everything. They wanted a share. They wanted a cut. It was bad, Peter. All right. This is doing, and when we were dealing through Bwaka office, I just want you to know that. That when people talk, I know Bwaka. Okay. We end up packing to move back to America because we spend money and it ain't look like we're going anywhere. All right. They can deal with the Lebanese people. They have the monopoly. They're not going to deal with Liberians. How do you tell me, Peter? I call you and say, Peter, let's look for all 5 other people. Let's put at least 50K each together. Let's go to Liberia. But y'all said the same thing to Musa Belente. He packed up, left his business from here, his trucking business, came to Liberia. When y'all have no oil tank farm, okay? And Liberia could not afford it, he opened it. Now your government come to power and say because he does not support, because he bought his cars are expensive than the president, that means he's competing with the president. So they should shut down his place. You're not thinking about the thousands of employees that you're going to lose. You're not talking about the thousands of young people who he supports. Okay, you're not thinking about that. You're not thinking about the other business processes that are going to be violated. That other international community will see that and see in business and say you can't go to that country because the people can decide who gets justice and who does not. So you are telling me that now I should get up blinded and take money out of my retirement, take money from my saving, maybe take home equity line of credit to say I'm coming to open business. So the day I say something that you don't like about Bwaka, you send one little little boy who got minister title to him, who don't know how the rest of the world works, where the police people and soldiers to come and shut down my business. No. No, that's still Connie. And for those of you who think this is an open door, no, this is a Connie. This is a conning that we said they're trying to con you out of whatever you have. In Liberia, the Indians, the Lebanese have monopoly because they're going to take the bulk of the money to their country. They're not going to talk. When they get a cut, they're not going to talk. That's what it is. So I don't see it, Peter. I don't see where we go from here. But go ahead. When you finish, I'm going to play how you call it, and I will take that from there. Yes.
Yeah. So let me say this. First of all, people need to understand how the Indians and the Lebanese and the Chinese governments work. They have a monopoly because their government allows them to have a monopoly. This is like a sovereign wealth fund for them. Let me explain what that means. Their governments know that they can send their people to Liberia or to Jamaica or to St. Thomas or to the Bahamas, help them establish a business, and because those are countries that's in need of resources, and remit money back to the family. This is a jobs program for their people with jobs they don't have back in their country. This is another way to be within. Some of those people are CIA. They're watching to see who's there, who's doing what. Allow those of us who understand and study, we understand because we studied government, to tell you, to help protect us, just like some of you guys are experts in other areas. When we tell you Joseph Boyka is a con man, please listen and just ask questions. Say why you say it. Okay? Those people, the Lebanese, Chinese, and the Indians are always going to run things. It's not just in Liberia. You know why? Because for the Chinese, it's creating jobs for their people. And those are eyes on the ground. And they're taking resources out of our country. They're telling their people who they should watch and who shouldn't be in government. And then with that, they tell the powers to be in Liberia and they destroy people. That's what they do. They use cash violence. But you're literally supporting China. You're literally supporting Lebanon. You're literally supporting India when you're doing that. And Joseph Boyka and the rest of them knows that. Okay? So they didn't make that money themselves to open that hardware store. The government gave them that money to do so.
Yes. And Peter, tell them about the Chinese, because the Chinese, they stay in isolation for years, and they weren't going on anywhere under the Mao rule after their civil war. And then when Deng came in, Deng came out with the 4 pillars and said, this is what we're going to do. When you see Chinese people, some of the Chinese people you see in your country, you've seen the rich, the government gives them money. They come, they invest, they take the raw material, it goes back to China. Okay, look at how fast these people just came into being. 1968 is when China took a speed. 1960, in fact, no, it was after the death of Mao. So after 1968, when China took a speed. Look at how far they come. You've been around for 200 years, and you still, Peter, go ahead. Let me not interrupt you again. I'm just annoying. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, but again, their country supports them. Like you said, it was after it was the reason you see all these countries popped up was called self-determination, was after World War II, and countries that have been supported, controlled by European countries were asked to were given latitude over their own countries, right? That's what Ghana, all these countries came about after World War II. So it was like 1950s and up. That doesn't matter. People look at China and be like, oh, you can't compare Liberia to China. No, China was in the same place as Liberia. It was a big country, but it was in the same place that had a bunch of factions. So it was as if all of Africa was one country. That was China, different factions. And Mao Zedong had to come and say, I'm going to be a dictator. I have to kill a few people so we all be on the same page. Again, it took leadership, guys. We have so much intelligence in Liberia. And here's the thing about the intelligence in Liberia. Liberian government didn't have to invest $1 to build these people. I'm talking the ones in the diaspora. There are Liberians living everywhere. You think any corner of the earth, we got Liberians who can speak that language. Just imagine how rich that is, that the resources, the human resources we have. Okay. And not even just with the education, some of the best doctors, best lawyers, the best constitutional lawyers, the best business people, Liberians, and in other country trained by that country. if we just had a proper leadership that could tap into that oil mine, that gold mine of wisdom and knowledge. Okay. Cindy, you talked about how, again, this is mind-blowingly idiotic. It is so dumb. So he says, if you bring equipment to build roads, you're not going to get taxed. And if you bring industrial equipment, you're not going to. Name one country that individuals did that and built that country. Building a nation requires millions and billions of dollars. That's heavy lifting. Only government can create
intensive.
Okay? Very capital intensive. No one individual, Yacendi, you wasted your money. You threw your money into a black hole. It has never happened. Again, those of us who have studied government, just ask questions. Let's debate it. It's never happened anywhere because it can't happen like that. That's not the process in which people use to build government, to build countries. Individuals can't do it. You can't bring a factory. It tells you how little people know about how countries are built. Oh, there's a country you bring a factory. Like how many factories you bring? It doesn't work like that.
Nope.
Okay. There are things that infrastructure, there are things that needs to be in place for people to then bring things into. We don't even have that structure yet. We live on the ocean. We're not taking advantage of that. Okay. Speaking of boycott and letting out rapists, Boyka himself has been accused of rape. I didn't say it. You know who said it? His biggest supporter, Prophet Key. Put him in jail if you want to worry about it. He said it. 2010, Joseph Boyka's son was accused of rape in China.
Yep.
These are facts. The man has not just a criminal, the man is vile. There is something in his character that is not good, and we elected this person. Do you understand how little empathy you have to be a rapist to say, I'm going to force a woman? It brings me some pleasure to force you, even though you don't want me. I'm going to force you to sleep with me. Do you know here's how lame, but besides the fact that it destroys the lives of the women, and it is like a crime that it's just how bad rape is, right? And I'm saying it just speaks to Joseph Boyka's character.
Yep.
There is since I was a kid, since like 15, 16 years old, I've been in locker rooms, football players, right? Football is a team that requires a lot of people. I'm talking teams have hundreds and hundreds of people. In college, there's 100 people on the team. In high school, the smallest team would probably be about 50-something people. So there are a lot of people in the room. So I've been in this for years and years and years and years, right? I have never, ever been around boys or men, right? From high school, from middle school, from a kid to university to working as a coach for years and years. I've been around a bunch of men, right? Hundreds of thousands, probably more than most people having conversations with them. I've never heard anyone brag about rape or admit to doing it because it's so vile. It's so, it's embarrassing, right? This man, cousin, his nephew, his son, himself, that's a horrible character. Horrible character, right? And we picked this comment. People like Dwalu picked this comment to lead our country. Cindy, we're in a bad place. I mean, I can close on that. We're in a bad place, and this is not good for Liberia, but we need to speak. The Liberians need to speak, and we need to do something about it. We need to stop sitting on the sideline and do something about it, which is getting a better leader that will make good decisions for us and our children.
For all of us and our children, not for one person or not for a few individuals. I agree with you, Peter. I'm not going to say anymore. I'm going to just turn this video on. I want it to end with Boyka. I don't know if you ever heard this, but let me play this video right here. This was after the fact that they have lied and now they seen their set in and they come back to speak like they didn't know what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. So I'm going to play this and I'm going to end it here, Peter. So this is what I'm going to end with.
calling the man gay all over here. Any man want to bring gay business in Liberia. Damage this Cummings man name. The best person that who can judge where can never even reach 10% of this man. He said, with 2 hour people don't vote for their own son. They must vote for him, who is the worst that ever came from the Southeast. He said the man bringing gay thing in Liberia. But guess what? Ghana Cummings who signed document to bring gay, the legalized gay. And George Weah who signed it. By the fruits, we shall know who they are. President Weah has proven to be the biggest gay right now because he has brought this thing to Liberia. That's not the issue. The issue is President Weah has signed as president, to his foreign minister, that this is what he's going to do for the international community. It doesn't matter if he pass it or he didn't pass it, or if he can pass it alone or not. This is what he has signed. As long as I'm president, this is what I'm going to do. He has committed himself to this document. All I want President Weah to do is to say he never signed it. That's all I want to know. And he will never speak to it. Why? God alone knows. He knows that if he speak to this, then they'll be telling the entire CDC, don't answer Senator Balu. Don't answer Ambassador Balu. Because they know if they answer her, they will not get vote for the traditional people. They will not get vote from the Christian community. They will not get vote from the Muslim community. That's why they will not answer. But you know that the people are not going to vote for you because of this document. Pray tell me, Mr. President, why did you sign it? Why did you sign a document that doesn't represent the aspiration or cultural values of your people? Why did you sign a document that doesn't represent the cultural values and the...
Now we're gonna close this. That paper is available. Okay, we're gonna close with this. Whereas Africa, with Joseph Boakai talking, we have no copyright to this video. This is my end, and I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Guys, go ahead. You have a
under the leadership of President Weah. Although I understand he's been away since October watching football.
That's right.
In Qatar. But that can be the big problem. What exactly do you
And I did say that Mr. Weah's presence in the country and his absence were all the same, except that when he is absent, he takes the money away. Mr. Weah, we all know that he was not really cut off for this kind of job. Mr. Weah is doing.
So here's the contradiction, though, folks. I'm sorry, but let me bring this here. Here is the contradiction. He's saying when he leaves, he takes the money away. Boakai, his family, 80% of his cabinet, all of them travel together. Boakai have been to America. I can estimate at least 5 times just this year alone. 5 times. He been here almost for a month. Okay. December, he was here. March, he was here. July, he was here. August, he's here. Okay? So let's hear it. And I'm sorry, folks. I got to come back to this. I'm not going to say anymore. I just want you to listen. And when you talk to them, they say, and we did this. This man is supposed to be the most experienced. He's supposed to be the most educated countryman ever ascended to the presidency. The most experienced, who are working every corner of the place. But listen to him. Go ahead, guys. I am sorry, folks, but I will play this.
Doing exactly what he's cut off for. And Liberia, when we were in power, Liberia was removed from being a failed state to a country that was giving hope to the people. We put in better infrastructure. We were able to remove the stigma of a nation.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get